Hey pioneers, and welcome back. Today we will continue working on our turbo fuel plant. We already have the blueprint that we will be using, and now we will do the building where we will be crafting the compacted coal. So the first step I do is simply choosing on the shape of the factory. Usually you want to avoid having squares or rectangles because they end up looking kind of dull. So as long as we move away from that shape, we should be okay. So this is our entrance. We'll try to align it here, and this will be like our main corridor. Let's make it a little bit bigger, of 3 foundations. And use a color. This color doesn't help, just to identify it. Maybe this one? Nope. Nope. Well, this is our color. This will be the center of our factory. Then our blueprint is of 5 by 5. So let's make space for our blueprint. And I will also mark it to know that this is going to be our blueprint. Now, we are going to need some space to walk around it, so let's do a corridor around our blueprint. And our blueprint also has several levels, and we will want to add some stairs to get to the top ones. So we could do the stairs up here on the front. So far so good, but we are still kind of on a square shape, and that's a big no-no. So let's make on the front something bigger to be like a hole. And I also want to add a control room, so that's going to be a good place for the control room. So let's just randomly add up to here. Okay, so we have blueprint, the main symmetry of our factory, and we could add some 45 degrees foundations over here. If you don't know how to do that, it's done with the road barrier. You put it over there, you add a second one, and then you should be able to plop the foundation right on the spot. And that's a little bit ugly. Can we work around it? Yeah, we probably can. There we go. So we have the main shape of our factory that's going to be producing compacted coal. I think that we could also have a place to put some batteries. So, should we be plopping the blueprints? No, because the best way to do factories organized is to have a logistics floor. So this is actually our logistics floor. The factory will be higher. I usually tend to do 2 blocks as a height for the logistic floor, and 1 whole block to actually be the floor. Okay, before we go through with this idea, there's something that I'm already not liking. This was kind of planning means that I would have to place the walls right on the edge. And I think that's not that good. The best way to place the walls is in the middle of a foundation. If it let me, well, apparently it won't. Over here, so then you can add pillars, you can change this type of floor, and you can make it look nice. So I will be making all one level bigger, and then we will move on to doing the real floor. So that's the final product. I also moved it a little bit far away from the door because we were getting too close. And now we can do the second floor. Okay, we are done with the floor. I also started playing around with the materials. We are going with coated concrete on the top, and on the logistics level, steel metal plate, I think it's called. But I wanted to talk about this. When you're playing with angles, the foundations will look really disgusting. I already found a workaround on this side that maybe it's not the most beautiful thing in the world, but it's decent. So how do you do this? First, move to the foundation that's giving you trouble and extend it. Then place a pillar on it, right in the edge, remove it and place another pillar on the bottom. Now remove the foundation that's giving you trouble and place a barrier on the pillar just a little bit under the limit. We can see there's the line. I'll do it a little bit down. Perfect. Now go for the foundation you want to put, in this case asphalt, and put it right on the barrier. And I will also have to align it. There we go. And everything is okay. Yay, that fixed it. Now we can swoop it down and remove all of the nonsense. And we've got a tidy floor. Now I should be doing the same in the ceiling. Okay, our borders are all nice and clean. So next step, we will be plopping our blueprints. Now, because of how I designed this, the blueprint is already over a foundation, and we don't want that, so we will have to cut a layer of the floor. There we go. I already placed this one to be able to support it. And now we should be able to plop our blueprint. Nice. Almost all of the logistics is already done. But now I'm wondering, maybe it was a good idea to leave it a little bit higher. Well, it's remaining like that. Now for the next one. Well, there's been a mild change of plans. I don't like how this looks at the same level, so I created a blueprint as a floor for my blueprint. So let's first place it on the hole. Let's align it. There we go. And now we place the blueprint. And make sure it's aligned. There we go. Now we will have windows where we can see the materials going up and down. And now all of this part is kind of separated from the floors. Yes, I will have to place stairs and maybe some walls on the side, but I think this looks way cooler than this. Looks more important also. So I will be replacing that one. There we go. Most of the heavy machinery is already hooked up. I also connected all of the belts. So what's the next step in my book? We have to go to the logistics floors and make sure that conveyor lifts get all the way down here. So I'll be doing that. Done. We have the two inputs of a blueprint, the two inputs of the other one, and that's an output, and that's the other output. And I just want to check how easy it is to connect all of this, even though we are load balancing a lot of machines. What we actually have to do with belts at this point, it's really easy. These two must be split with a splitter, these two must be split with a splitter, and those two needs to be merged. But even though it might sound interesting start putting the belts right now, I don't think that's a good idea. Because this logistics floor will be extremely dark. Actually, I have lumen disabled right now, I think. And when you have belts, it's harder to work with the lights. So I will be lighting this up right now, and then I will hook all of the belts. So let it be light. And we have light. Of course, I ended doing this with blueprints, and it was quite straightforward. Now we can start plugging in all of our belts. But first we have to decide where we will be having our inputs and outputs. And I think that using these edges that are in an angle is inviting for trouble, so I won't be doing that. And I think the safest way to go would be over here. There's no need to take the materials all the way down. We can take them up to here and then make some sort of ramp that brings it to this side. So we will start doing, how is it named? Well, let's search it over here with one of these. We will be having two inputs and one output. Coal and sulfur are our inputs, and plastic will be our output. And as I said before, I won't be placing the walls in the edge, I will be placing them on the middle to do some fancy decorations. So we plop that out, and now we can start connecting everything. And that's the result. It was quite simple. These are two inputs that I place a splitter in the middle, and then this goes directly to one of the holes. Then the second one doesn't have one in the middle because it has a splitter right here. So the input goes this way, it splits half to this elevator and half to the other one. And this goes to the other entrance. And then for the time being, I simply merged the two outputs. I have no clue where this will be going, but place this as a reminder that here's where I get the compacted coal. So there's a lot of progress done. This is almost functional by now. I still haven't connected anything to the power grid, but now I will be, oh yeah, I forgot to remove this. I will be creating my control room. I don't know entirely what I want it to be, but I'm guessing on this sector, a little bit elevated and all made of glass, so you can see everything that's going on through a glass thing. So I will be experimenting a little bit, and I hope I come up with something good. Here we go, a beautiful control room. So what is this? I left a gap over here. To begin with, we have the priority switch. Didn't have enough space to put the whole name of the factory, that's Chandra's Flameworks, but well, I can live with that. This is the main switch that I can turn on and off from anywhere in the world and will plug in the whole factory. But then I divided it into a lot of segments. We have the facilities. This would be the zinc, the batteries, and I don't know if there's something else, but it would be plugged in here. Then the miners that brings the coal and the sulfur. The machines that produce the compacted coal. The oil extractors. The water that's going to be producing plastic. The refineries that actually do the fuel, the refineries that do the plastic, the refineries that do the turbo fuel, and then the light switch to change the colors and turn on and off the lights. Now, why did I do this? To be honest, there's not a need to make so many stages, it can be done with less, but the main reason is to make a full pressure startup. This is a way to prevent having issues with fluids. There's a lot of people complaining out there that still fluids are bugs, that you can't put a MK2 pipe at full capacity. And the devs in the dev stream were quite clear. All of the bugs are fixed, it's more of a skill issue than a bug itself. So I agree with them. Even in early access, I struggled a lot, but I always managed to work everything I wanted to do with pipes, but they can be kind of tricky. And one way to avoid issues is to do a full pressure startup. And these switches will help us doing that. Don't worry, I will explain what that is later on and how to do it. But for the time being, this is pretty cool. I have never done this. I'm probably going to regret it in the future because there's a lot of different connections. But to make my life easier, I'm gonna handle most of them in this gap that I have between the roof and the floor. Here I have all of the connections, so I will be able to move them around all the place without much issues. So, right now the factory is almost functional, there's some tiny details, so the next stage is by far the one that I consider the most boring and takes the most amount of time. Until now it was kind of exciting, but well, you have to finish it. So it's the decoration part, putting all of the walls, the roof, signs, connecting the input, and all of the stuff needed to have this working and nice. So hopefully in a couple of seconds for you and a lot of hours for me, we will be seeing something amazing. And we are done. Welcome to Chandra's Flameworks. I took a little risk and tried to make it look like a spider. Those would be the eyes, the face, and we have the legs. I don't know if it looks exactly like a spider, but well, it was fun trying and it was something I haven't done before. Over here, those would be spider webs. You clearly understood that reference, huh? You didn't need me to explain it to you. But well, that's how the factory looks on the outside. That's a piece of roof missing. There we go. And let's see the features I added. This is the rail that's going to be bringing all of the raw materials. I made it out of glass so we could see what's going on. And now let's get inside. Here we are. Let's just make a tour through the new features. For example, this type of wall, I've never done this before. Extremely easy, it's just a blueprint, but I think it looks amazing and it gives these shadows that are pretty awesome. Then we have our control room. I used the summary page over here to kind of hide all of the cables. There are still a lot of unknowns because we haven't finished designing the whole factory. I did add this because I realized fabric can be made out of polymer resin, and we will be doing a lot of that. The other way of doing it, if not, is with hand-picked items, and that kind of sucks. It's not like fabric is really useful, but we can do gas filters. So, well, it would be good to have a really low amount of fabric already automated. Then this is the main corridor. We have entrance to the logistics floors on each of the sides. On the side of the factory I added the batteries. As the roof is too high, I added 2 levels. They are good for decoration and they also serve a purpose, so that's pretty dope. Then let's start taking the stairs. This is our control room. Big shout out to Drawing Xaos. I took from him the idea of how to do a computer, how to do a table, and I think they look amazing. Then these are all of the switches and the main switch on the other side. Then let's continue going up. I added roof access. This wasn't planned, but why not? And this is kind of new. I had never did a hanging bridge. It's actually made out of a power line that's hidden over there. The reason for this is because I couldn't add any columns because of our control room, so I decided to hang it from the roof. Then we have our balcony. Nothing out of the ordinary here. And that's basically it. Oh, the logistics floors. Let's get down. So, pretty standard logistics floors, but I added a pool. So you can swim over here after some time. Again, these chairs and sofas designed by Drawing Xaos. If you're interested in decorating factories, you should be watching his channel, not mine. He has some pretty cool ideas. And then I added some fix-it signs. Swim limit 5 minutes, deducted from bonus. Warning, pool may be highly contaminated, fix-it accepts no liability. And pool temperature set to maximize discomfort for 98% of users. What we would expect from fix-it. So, everything is done now, it's operational. I haven't tested it though, we are going to test everything when the whole factory is finished. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Now, the next step is doing all of the refineries, the fuel, the turbo fuel, the power generators. That's going to be a tough cookie. But for the time being, I've got an awesome spider-shaped factory. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for all of the support, and we'll see you on the next one.